what you want? And are you getting what you need?
All right, you found yourself back with us once again. No means no thing, no means nothing, depending on which way you like it. We're back
always.
for another round. Yeah, I like it all the ways. I'm one of your hosts, Jordan.
I'm Matthew.
And I'm Michelle.
Excellent. And now we're going to play our favorite drinking game, which is, I guess, what the fuck are you drinking? So, Michelle, why don't you go first and surprise us?
Oh, God. Would you look at this? Right there.
Oh, my.
I haven't even opened it yet. Maybe you can tell by the sound.
Put it
of
in the
me
mic.
opening
Put it in the mic. Put it in the mic.
Wait.
Oh,
yes.
the widget.
I don't think the widget went off.
Isn't it? It's got.
Oh, it did.
Doesn't
I think it did.
those
right.
cans of Guinness have the little it's like the thing in a can of spray paint, right? Like a little shaker.
Yeah. It's a patented
Guess
thing,
so.
and it's actually called a widget.
It is
Is
called
it
the
seriously?
widget.
It is
Yes,
indeed.
it is.
Shit.
Yep.
Okay, well, let's put that in our pocket for that episode whenever that
Now I'm
happens.
going to let it cascade.
Nice. Oh, that's my
we
favorite
go.
part, sitting there, watch it. Oof.
It's beautiful.
All right, Matthew, how about you?
Well, I got two. You guys can help me choose again.
Yes. Bachelor 1 or Bachelor 2?
These were chosen for me by my lovely wife, who is very supportive
Excellent.
of the podcast, and I asked her to
Thank
go
you.
and select things that I might not have selected for myself, as long as it isn't fucking cat pee on a new freshly mown lawn, IPA triple bullshit. So we have the Russell Brewing Wee Angry Scotch Ale.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a strong one. And
Wee Angry.
also from Vancouver, the Bridge. We should be getting sponsorship. Bourbon Blood Orange
shit.
Wheat Ale.
Oh,
So
I'm
this
a
is
sucker for
lighter-
the wheat.
This is a lighter one.
Ooh, well, I want you more drunk, so I'm going to take whatever one's stronger. But I do like that wheat beer, man. That's blood orange wheat. That's right in my wheelhouse.
The strong
I don't know,
beer is
Michelle, what do
only
you think?
6.5, and the blood orange is 5.5. So yeah,
That's
No,
not so
I'm
bad.
going for the we.
Let's do it.
We
the Angry Scotch.
will. We
Angry
we
Scotch.
should.
Okay.
Yes.
Angry
Shout out to
Scotch. Sorry,
shout out to
Scott's
Kieran Kirk,
listening.
a man whose name
Nice.
is impossible to say without affecting a horrible Scottish accent.
Well, you held back a little. That was nice.
I did.
All right, good. And I'm
And
the boring one.
lo, what shall you be wetting your whiskers with?
I have my old fashioned because I'm feeling rather old fashioned with these songs tonight. So
nice.
excellent.
Lovely.
All right. Well,
Before we
tonight,
begin, I gotta say, there's
please, go for it.
I get really kind of obsessed with our little metrics map, and I was surprised to discover that we had downloads from the beautiful tropical islands of the Seychelles.
the Seychelles, for fuck's sake. Hey, whoever you are, thanks,
The
man.
hell's that?
Woman,
Where's
person.
that?
It's in the
I'm
Indian
so
Ocean,
ignorant. Where is that?
northeast of Madagascar.
No shit.
Right? Like who? Please, can you? Hey,
Wow.
here's a request. Whoever you are, will you email us and just tell us what your deal is? Like who?
Yeah, I
I'm
hope
so
it's not just somebody
interested.
using a VPN.
I know. It's
another
well,
really
that could
cool
be.
thing about the
That could be.
Seychelles is it is pretty much it's pretty much the antipodes of where I'm sitting. It's pretty much the other side of the planet. And an interesting thing about the Seychelles is its capital is Victoria.
Oh,
How about that?
nice.
Wow.
Look at that shit.
It all comes
Well,
around, don't it?
It all comes around. There you go. All right. Well,
Not if the Earth is flat, though.
not if the Earth is
I'm
flat.
I'm just kidding. All right,
So
I'm
this
seriously
evening we
kidding.
have a lot of listening. 4 songs, two of which have 2 different versions, and I totaled up the entire time it would take to listen to all 4 songs and 2 versions of 2 of them. So 6 songs, 51 minutes and 8 seconds.
That's an album's worth.
Yeah, it is.
Jesus. Well, I mean, I'll talk about why this episode is difficult for me later. It's not the normal way, which is having to pit my babies against each other. It's for different reasons. But yet again, this is always super fucking challenging. So our first matchup here, first 2 songs going against each other. We've got I Need You from Why Do They Call Me Mr. Happy, 1993. And also from the 0 + 2 = 1.5 sessions, released 2010, but recorded around the 0 + 2 = 1 sessions, right? So there's that version with Andy.
Mhm.
And this is going up against I See a Mansion in the Sky from All Roads Lead to Ausfahrt, 2006. So, very interesting pairing.
Mhm.
I'm up at bat first here, and before I dive into anything, I'm going to take a sip of my whiskey because
Dive.
I'm gonna fucking need it, and I'm going to let you, audience, hear a little bit of the song. Here you go.
There is no world, and I am a shadow. You are no woman, and I am no man. They're only eyes and arms and hands. The eyes that cut me out, the arms that hold me round, the hands that reach out to pick me up and lift me from the ground. Go ahead, raise me from the mud, and let light burn me down. And where I live forever, heaven sent, or I'm doomed to die earthbound. It doesn't matter. You may let the years drip from my face as the world turns round and round. But as long as I can breathe, can lift my voice and make a sound. In everything I am and everything I do, I am your servant. I need you. I need you. I need
Okay.
you.
So there are two songs in rotation tonight that are absolutely towards the top of my roster. I'm not going to right now put any numbers, but definitely super high up in my pantheon. And this is one of them, right? I Need You is absolutely one of my favorite No Means No song. So briefly, because I don't want to talk about this too much. I mean, you guys have more to say this on the two version aspect of this. I love both these versions, and like most of the versions where we've got an Andy version and then a later recorded version, I think there are qualities to both that are amazing, and the guitar playing that Andy does on his version of this is stellar, and I really love it. But to me, nostalgically, I think the studio version is the one I always go back to, just because it's the one that really imprinted on me at a time that was really impactful to me. So, and I think Rob's vocal performance on that, I think is really refined and amazing. So that out of the way, this song really means a great deal to me. It sort of wrecks me in the best possible way. It's one of those songs that I heard early on in its release. I got this right when it came out, and I was during a rough breakup in college, right? So you have those songs that you listen to that are steeped in that, and this one is definitely steeped in the intensity of my 20s. I must have played the song like 50,000 fucking times lying on my bed.
Wow.
Listen to this song, right? And I think of all the No Means No love songs, of which there's a handful, explicit love songs anyway, I think this one's my favorite. I probably already said that about Real Love, which I guess is a lie.
Yeah, I think you did.
Probably, or I just
I
was,
think
you
you
know,
did.
I'll just change my opinion whenever I fucking feel like it, because hey, you know,
Because
what
you
the hell?
can.
But I love this song, and it's, you know, it's really different because Real Love was about it's a song about the love being a universal sort of cosmic force, this unshakable, huge force, and this song to me is it's deeply personal. It's deeply about the individual and about that basic need for connection. I think especially the type of connection that cuts through that very deep isolation that you can find yourself in. You know, there's parts of this song I've been that man wandering the streets, catching myself reflected in the windows, right, and being filled with self-loathing. I've been that person. That is such a specific and fucking amazing image that Rob put down, and there's something in this song and in those moments when that bitterness that you can feel or the loneliness of that isolation is it gets paired with this deep need to connect, and those two things held so closely together. I don't think I've ever heard a song that's captured that very real feeling for me as well as this song has. And Rob, he's writing this as one who knows this, right? As someone who's really experienced this. And this is a song written from real honesty and sincerity. that sort of sense of like rooting around in the darkness of our experience and yet reaching for that light that's always there, even if it's out of reach, just sort of one hand on both of those poles. Lyrically, this song is so incredibly beautiful to me. I think that last verse, the one that starts with there is no world and you are a shadow, I think that's among the best that Rob has ever written. I think on its own, even pulled out from the rest of his everything else he's written, it stands out. It's that is a hard-earned, unassailable statement of truth. And it is just sung with this fucking passion and this sincerity that it's just a fucking gift to anyone who wants to sit and really listen to it and really let it wash over to them. That last bit in particular for me is just a fucking gift. And there are little subtleties to it. Something I picked up on listening to both versions. And these are the things about this band that I love, right? You know, I'm always talking about these little lyrical subtleties. And he says, you are no woman and I am no man. He doesn't say you are no woman and I am no man. The emphasis is on the no. It's very clearly on like no woman. I am no man. And I'm not going to try to pretend to understand exactly what that means, but the way he says it, it's just really filled with something and it's different than what I would expect. And so it just draws me in a way and it's just fucking filled with something. I don't know. I love that. I love that in particular for some reason.
I can tell you a little bit about why, like just from a linguistic standpoint.
Good. Save it. I want to hear it.
Okay.
Yeah. Peg it. I want to hear that. So one of the reasons I think this song is so beautiful to me, because it really centers on the truth that we are this truth that in the end we're alone. And in a very, very real way, we're cut off apart from everyone, even those that we're close to. But there's this something very real, and it's not ephemeral. It's really tangible in the eyes that truly see us, right? In the arms that hold us, the hands that are there to pick us up. There's something real there at the same time as we're fully alone in the world. And I don't know that I've ever encountered a work that captured that feeling as brilliantly and beautifully. And it's really, I actually, as much as I love this song, I hate talking about it because I've thought about this song so much that it's impossible for me to even put the tiniest fraction of what this song means to me into words. And so both with this and another song coming up later, it's like, I can't. These songs are too important to me. I'll never be able to express what I actually think about this song. There's probably a billion things I'm going to listen to this 2 weeks from now and go like, oh fuck, I should have said.
Oh,
although I have to say,
just scratch the surface. Like,
I know. Well, on the other hand, I was thinking the other day, we do get a gimme because we are going to get to talk about all these songs again if they win. So if this one wins, we get another chance. In any event, I'm going to back off. I could keep talking about this song forever, but I won't. So, Michelle, why don't you let us know what you think of this one?
Well, you know, after hearing you, I think I kind of feel like they wrote the song for you. Because you're listening to it the way that they wrote it, and the intricacies and the small little nooks in there that you just dive right into. It's pretty phenomenal to hear somebody who really embraces every single aspect of the song. So it's I love people who don't hear music, they listen to it. You know, you're digesting a part of the music that I don't really do so much. But I enjoy hearing you talk about the meaning of the words and the principles behind it. It's a treat.
Yeah, this project is making me do active listening in a way I haven't done in years.
Yeah, active listening.
For sure.
Exactly. Right.
For sure.
Yeah, just not surface type stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, something you lose practice in. Yeah.
You certainly do. I like this song. I love it. It's kind of funky and really cool. I got to tell you, I had a hard time embracing, but it did grow on me. I had a hard time embracing when Rob would do the echo with the guitar. And I don't know why. I don't know. I can't pinpoint it, but it did grow on me, and I did eventually like it, but I don't know. There's still something about it that tastes a little weird. This song has a steady groove, and I don't know shit about the lyrics. Shameful, shameful. I don't know shit. All I know is that he's I need you now. Ha 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 ha. It's a good tune for keeping it steady with some good attention grabbing bits thrown in. The constant low drive of it really makes it shine, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay,
What did you
I
have
don't
any
know.
did you listen to
Oh.
both versions, Michelle? Did you listen to the studio and the 0 + 2 = 1 version?
I listened to the 0 + 2 = 1 version.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it's just so interesting because the guitar is so different in that one than when it's Andy playing than when it's
Well,
Rob
see,
playing.
I probably didn't listen to that. Maybe I should have. I'd have a little bit more notes and a little bit more.
Oh, no, maybe not.
To
I'm just
branch
interested to know
out
which one
on,
you're
but-
listening to.
I thought about the
Do you
difference, but I
like the
didn't think of the
repeat,
fact.
the thing where he echoes the guitar. Do you like that?
I do. I do.
Okay.
I think it's a real style. I think it's a really stylistic choice. And I don't want to dive too much because I could sit here right now and explicate all these stupid fucking reasons why I think he does it or why I think it's interesting, but it would pretty much just be me jacking off into the mic. So I'm not going to, but I do. I think there are probably reasons he does it, and I really, I do like it.
Yeah.
It is weird though. It's weird as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's a weird choice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Matthew, how about you? What do you think of this sucker?
Well, all the songs for tonight, they are all for me. The production makes a big difference. Like choices that are made and how it's recorded, really convey like visual imagery for me. This is certainly one of those. And my idea of what the reverb is he is. I mean, when you yell, you're sort of waiting for an echo, but it's not coming back. It's just going out. So for me, this song is actually, it's a song about intimacy and everything like that, but it's also pretty lonely in a lot of ways. I really like how the bass line and the drums are pretty much the same all the way through the song, except in the bridge, I guess. Quarter note bass drum with hi-hat, and there's no snare, and it's an interesting choice because snare kind of punctuates a song and you kind of wait for it. So for me, it gives a much more sense of continuousness in the song. It is kind of dancey, but this is one of the truer No Means No songs. I can't think of any instances of comedy in it. No little nods. It's very, very, very serious kind of one. But yeah, I like the reverb. I am less a fan of his awkward vibrato on Glass and Pass, but it isn't on the 0 + 2 = 1.5 version, so I kind of like that better. But the whole sounds very searching, echoing into the distance, and a lot of the music in it reminds me of other things. It sounds quite 90s to me, not a bad thing. It's almost got the guitar solo is almost like a post-rock kind of sounding. You could hear that in Godspeed You Black Emperor track. The bridge is just a full-on straight-ahead groove, and that's awesome. But singing, his singing and speaking, Rob is perhaps at his most powerful in any song I can think of. I mean, he goes right from the howls of passion and anguish to just the quiet kind of tender part right at the end. I kind of wonder, is he a ghost? Does he feel like a ghost? Are we all ghosts searching for something? They say that a ghost is a spirit that's left something behind. But yeah, this song, it's like the pain of need, never enough. You need, but there's always a little bit of distance. So, you can love, but it's also a destroyer. You're never quite complete. So, you want and want, but you never quite get all that you feel like you need. I mean, it's such an important need that it's never quite enough, even if you're lying in bed with it, smoothing your hand across its hip and lingering with your fingertips. And I actually I'm I'm not a tattoo guy. I'm not very interested in other people's tattoos for the most part, but there was a thread in the main No Means No Facebook group, and people were posting their No Means No base tattoos, and a woman had that lyric tattooed on herself, and I thought that was pretty cool. Just that feeling of an image of the man lying next to a woman, and I only say man and woman because he says no man and no woman, and I know Rob is heterosexual, but that duality, that vulnerable intimacy where the sleeper is powerless, but is actually the person awake and sort of smoothing the hip and everything like that is totally enthralled by the sleeper. So I found that's kind of interesting how you took my breath away. What else did I write here? Well, the sloppier guitars, I didn't really think that it was a different player. I wasn't even thinking about that, but the not sloppier, but more they don't stop and start as much. I don't know the musical term for it, but they sort of blend into each other a little bit more on that version, which is an interesting difference. The studio version is a little more not staccato, but it's a little bit more
legato, maybe.
Okay,
that's when it's connected. Legato means connected. Staccato means like separated.
Just that the like a riff will kind of end a little bit more cleanly, maybe. Okay. I lack the vocabulary, unfortunately. In terms of the I'm no man and no woman, the shift of stress onto the no actually changes the no from an adverb and makes the no man and no woman into a noun. Like if I were parsing that, I was drawing a word tree, those would be units rather than separate pieces, which is kind of an interesting thing, like entities unto themselves. They're just we're just arms and eyes and hands, just parts, just in essence. I also thought it was interesting, the eyes that cut me out. To cut something out it's to exclude, but it's also to reserve. Like you cut out a coupon or cut out a picture or something like that to save it. So it's got that interesting kind of duality to the meaning of that lyric. And I guess the last thing I said, the last chord, he just waits for the last note and it rings out. But instead of I need you now, he just, I need you. Not now, I need you. And then it just echoes into the distance. So we'll always continue to need, and that need will never be filled. Nice. Not fully. Okay.
Fuck, I love that song.
Heavy.
Yeah,
heavy,
me too. It's
heavy,
I think
heavy,
one
heavy.
of the prettiest No Means No songs that
It is.
I agree. Yeah.
I liked your point about how it's absent the humor, and not in a bad way to me, right? It's just it's very earnest. This is a very very sincere
fucking
song.
Serious.
Yeah, fucking love it. All right, well, on to something wholly different.
Oh my.
I see a mansion in the sky. So another sip of the old whiskey and a little clip of this thing. So, this song, I've complicated feelings about it. It has some lyrics in it that I feel are kind of awkward. Kind of. I think it has some really great lines, and then some lines that have always just felt to me like, all right, I guess. Unlike most of his other work, where I don't get that feeling as his. I know Rob wrote the lyrics exclusively to much of this album, if not many of the songs, but especially this one. But what does it mean? So I'll hazard some guesses. These are all just guesses. This is me. I think it goes without saying, hopefully just my interpretation of this shit. But this one's pretty hard to nail down in a lot of ways. I do think, as with other songs on this album, and certainly off the tour EPs, that Rob's interest in consciousness and specifically Buddhism are at play here. We've got these two voices in the song, right? We've got the really low, growly one that's kind of going in this nursery rhyme sing-song. And then you've got the more expansive melodic voice. And then, of course, the two musical styles going on underneath it. And that first growly voice really makes me think of the Buddhist idea, something called the monkey mind, which is that voice in your head that's just always chattering, that you can never escape. And it's just part of being a human being. It's just he has the other song, I Can't Stop Talking. It's just that voice in your head that's down in the muck. It's always going. You don't really have any control of it, but you take it to be yourself. That's you, is that voice, always chattering. And it's that voice that's deep in the mud, deep in the muck, saying all of this really dark shit. And that's the voice that looks up and says, I see a mansion in the sky, which to me is the sort of puerile, childish version of heaven that you get from the low ends of spirituality, the low ends of Christianity, those kind of the types of those spirituality that come from the monkey mind, that are not anything transcendent. It's not coming out of myself. It's not realizing anything about the self. It's just, oh yeah, there's Uncle Daddy's up in heaven with his mansion. But the other part of it, the other voice, is kind of wholly different. And the music becomes more orderly. The voice becomes more orderly. And if I'm to take those parts earnestly, which is incredibly dangerous with No Means No, and I'm sure one is not meant to, but if I do, the lyrics in that are all talking about having a collected mind, an expansive mind, having a mind that's like a lotus in the stream, which is a very Buddhist image. It's about this finding oneself in the moment, finding peace and tranquility in the moment of existence, not in this monkey mind and not looking up to heaven. It's much more grounded, and it seems to be trying to collect oneself in a way that is using pretty explicitly Buddhist language in a lot of times. And so these two things kind of contravening against each other are really fucking interesting. I would say, to me, the best part of this song is the fucking drumming, which is just,
No question.
I don't even fucking know. I literally cannot follow what is happening in the drumming. It is so detailed and so in another fucking zone. Right. And I find that wholly appropriate for those sections, the ones where Rob is really growling. Again, like most of the best No Means No songs, the music is serving the meaning, is serving the lyrics, is serving the delivery perfectly. But what John is doing in this song, holy fuck, it is.
He's going crazy.
It is insane. Crazy man. And it's not just chaos. Like, there is a deep implicate order in what he's doing, right? But I can't follow it. I try my best to sit and say, I'm just going to isolate. I'm just going to listen to John. I can't follow it in the best way possible. It's just fucking crazy. I love it. And I think all the music, the guitar and the bass, do the same thing. They play in those two sections really, really well, and play, for me anyway, and what my interpretation is, really well to those aspects of the meaning. And I'm sure you could find bits of the text in both those sections that would completely subvert what I'm saying, which is right on brand for No Means No. So I'd hope that's like that. But anyway, that's my stab at this. I also would have to say, like some of the other songs, unlike some of the other ones we're talking about tonight, I just haven't had as long to chew on this shit, right? Like, I've listened to Ausfart a lot, but nowhere near as much as Mr. Happy, and certainly nowhere near as much, oops, lost my headphones, as Day Everything Became Nothing. So yeah, that's what I'd have to say about this song. Michelle, how about you?
The song has some groove. It's very fun to listen to. And over the years, I've grown to quite like it on the record since it was more straightforward. But it has maybe a little bit of Hanson's flavor, but John's drumming, oh holy shit, it's terrific. He is the star in this piece for sure, for sure. Tom's doing some great stuff and some fucked up guitar things, and it's a beautiful, nice meld of everyone. But John is definitely the star of this piece. I love and dig the use of the tongue twisters in here. They're hilarious, and they're said with such a great Rob attitude. That's what I got. That's what I got.
Nice. All right, Matthew, how about you?
Cut away,
Yeah,
Chuck.
Certainly religious in nature, very much. But I didn't know about that concept of the monkey mind, but I certainly have written a little bit about what I think it's probably the same thing. That in some ways this is like Rob in full priest mode. That sordid little voice with the ugly images, and the tongue twisters are almost like religious language, like speaking in tongues. It's the unpolished, uninhibited. The first. It's what we all clamp down on, but people who have autism or people who have Tourette's syndrome can't clamp down on, and so it's what comes out, kind of the unfiltered muttering that we all have as our internal monologue. And it's interesting because there is a dialogue where again, a production choice, the stereo shifts from one side to the other. It's like him answering himself or having a dialogue with himself, which is a pretty cool thing. Yeah, the drums are so full on. I don't want to say chaotic, but just they're everywhere. And especially compared to the repetition and restraint on I Need You, it's a really interesting contrast. This song definitely conjures up a lot of visual images for me. Very Lovecraftian, like the non-Euclidean spaces, like the spaces that just don't make sense. The echoing guitar, lots of open air, but with an imposing weight above you. That mansion in the sky, heavy and ominous. The other reference to Mansions of the Dead in the tower. Yeah, that's not a good thing that's happening. And then, that thing that's by your side, look into what you hope are eyes. It again reminds me of I love all the little dark holes in your body bag. And I sent you guys a link for this, but for whatever reason, this song, when I first saw the video, it's by a band. I don't know whether it's called Die or DYE. The song's called Fantasy, and it's an animated video. And it just, when I saw that video, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 years ago, I'm like, this reminds me of Mansions in the Sky, especially the end part. So maybe we'll try to include a link or something like that when we post this.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of the lyrics, kind of hackneyed expressions. If that lead balloon won't float. I thought a little bit more about that expression, like something that goes over like a lead balloon is a success. Like, it goes over, like goes over like a lead balloon. Like, I think people use it the wrong way, but it's actually, the success is a failure because the balloon isn't going anywhere.
There's a band
just
named after that. Did you know that?
Is there really? Wow.
Yeah. All right. No, I'm just kidding. Come on.
And then, of course, pissing into the wind is a self-defeating thing, of course. So in contrast to the muttering monkey mind voice, is the bridge. It's so optimistic, almost loungy, almost, to me, a little soporific. And while you kind of heard, order and clear mind and everything like that, for me, it's like supercilious. It's preachy. It's like, I'm better than you, kind of feel. Like a lotus in the stream is certainly Buddhist, but pure mind, pure land. I can't.
Yeah, but it's a little hackneyed. I agree. Yeah, it's a little new agey in its way.
Any other way that's like not sarcastic. And the slide guitar, the bendy sounds. It's kind of a little bit country, maybe a little bit of a reference to sort of evangelism, Southern evangelism, in there. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I got written down, except for the fact that if I'm dead when I awake, I know that I'll make a big mistake. That nursery rhyme is referenced in one of the songs we're going to talk about later.
Absolutely. There's a couple songs that comes up at. Yeah, he likes to go back to that well.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it makes me, it's just to riff on that a little bit on what you were saying. I agree. There is something soporific about those verses, and it makes me feel like I do think that there's almost real wisdom being expressed in those other parts, but it's being expressed in the way that's too easy. And it's like this pablum of just wake up, rise and wake up around you. It's no problem, as opposed to the real visceralness of what it is you're trying to wake up from. Yeah. So it's like, yes, that may be what we're looking for, but you're in this fucking filth. It's a lot harder than just saying you're going to fucking wake up. And
the muttering goblin is the reality.
Exactly. He talks about the escape from that. I think more in the tour EPs. When we get to some of those songs, we'll talk about it. But yeah, I would agree. I think there is something suspicious about the way it's so easy to talk about that other part.
I see a mansion in the sky. Yeah, this is huge floating. And in the video, it's like this huge castle-like monster in the distance that's destroyed the subject of the. Anyway.
Yeah, it's Yaldabaoth. It's the Gnostic god, right? It's like that god that's built from the smallest, dumbest parts of us. Not anything real. It's
gibbering
like, let's look up at heaven. Exactly. All right. Well, okay. There we go. Here we go, man. We got a fucking vote. It's our first vote. I'm first. I do not have any difficulty with this, just because of my history. So for me, this is I Need You by several laps, probably. That's my vote. And then, Michelle, you get to weigh in. What do you think? Straightforward, honest.
I think Matthew said this before, where he wanted to vote as his old self hearing it and didn't want to diss his old self hearing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
No, I'm going to vote for I Need You too. I
you don't have to.
Because I think I am. Because I like passion. And I don't know about all of the Buddhist stuff. And I related more to somebody who's like, needs something. I don't know. This isn't going very well, but okay, I'm just going to shut up and vote I Need You. That's what I'm voting for.
All right. And well, I guess it's going through.
Yeah, it's going to be unanimous because I like both these songs, and I actually like Mansion a lot better, having listened to it a lot more closely. But I think it's a very anxious song, whereas I Need You is to me it's a more beautiful song, more soothing, more nourishing. Whereas the other one,
yeah. And I don't know. This was really, we're going to have a lot of these kind of matchups, and I don't know if it's really fair. Like I haven't had as much time to chew on the Mansion in the Sky. It didn't come to me in college when I was deeply imprinted by fucking anything I was listening to. So it's not fair. That song. Yeah. And I want to be clear. Mansion in the Sky is actually one of my favorite tracks off of Ausfahrt. I think it's a great fucking track.
It's kicking.
I'm not meaning to diss it. It just came up against something that very few no songs would have a hard time dethroning for me. So
for you,
I'm
for
glad
you
about that. But all right, well, great, unanimous. It's through. Phew, I can breathe. Okay. So next up, our next pair of songs, our next two babies towing up to the line. One which has to jump into the pit of fire, and the other which ascends to that mansion in the sky. The first up, Dance of the Headless Bourgeoisie, off of Dance of the Headless Bourgeoisie, 1998, versus, Brother Rat, What Slayde Says, off of the EP, The Day Everything Became Nothing, or off of the compilation CD, The Day Everything Became Isolated and Destroyed, 1987. And of course, famously also off of Live and Cuddly. I don't remember the release date. Didn't pick that up off the wiki. 91. So there we go. 91. He's got it. He's got it right there, folks.
Nerds.
Woo! Fucking big. Nerds. No means nerds. All right, Matthew, you get to be up first with Dance of the Headless Bourgeoisie. Before you do that, let's let everyone experience a little headless joy.
Uh-oh.
Forget it, man. We're coming after you. We have no political beliefs. don't want your fucking money. There's just one thing that motivates us. We hate your fucking guts. And our candlesticks of dynamite waiting for you. They'll cover your eyes. They'll muffle your ears. They'll shut your fucking mouth. They'll shut your fucking mouth. They'll shut your fucking mouth. They'll blow up your head, blow your head, they'll blow your head, they'll blow your head, they'll blow your head.
What do you think?
This is definitely one of the songs where the production really conjures an image, several images for me. And yeah, it's interesting. It's the title track. And I'd never really thought before that a lot of No Means No albums are named for a song on them. But not all of them. I'd never really thought about that before. Yeah, the drums, I think, maybe not all of them, but some of them, I think they were recorded with room mics. So they sound like they're in a small space. To me, it's very claustrophobic. And it's a song about, abducting and threatening people's lives. So it's pretty scary. And when the bass line is so I think that's an arpeggio just over and over again. It's similar to one of the tracks off of The Sky Is Falling and Want My Mommy, maybe the Mrs. Real Let's See. I didn't go back to the album and listen to it, but that very, very ominous. And then when the drums come in, oh my God, the toms are like an avalanche. The guitar is like a klaxon. Yeah, so much hatred and contempt. But I kind of wonder, in knowing kind of what Rob's got up to since retirement and close to retirement, whether there's some element of self-loathing. We're all searching for that bourgeois life because Rob plays with his kids and plays golf these days. So who knows? Yeah, some of the most hardcore drumming in latter day or relatively recent No Means No, I'd say. I love the silly voices. Blow off his head. You hear characters from other No Means No canon, like I'd say you definitely hear Johnny Hansen here and there. There's almost a blow off his head. Reminds me of Devo.
Yeah,
Totally.
Nice.
It contains perhaps the worst, making it possibly the best lyric in any No Means No song.
No way. No
It's just
fucking way.
The abductor gives absolutely zero shits about even being serious. Of course, Pinky Stinky.
Come on.
The name of my
Handle.
track in tonight's recording session.
Your handle.
Oh man, yeah. The last verse where he sounded so angry and kind of off the chain in the previous where he's abducting the wife and then the son and the daughter. When it's reserved for the subject, like the I guess the man of the family, it's a quieter voice. There's less anger and just conviction and just smothering contempt. Interesting structure to the song. And then there's the coda, which is so happy and woohoo. Is that the post-bourgeoisie world? It reminds me of like Smurfs dancing around a mushroom, or like the dwarves around a tiny Stonehenge in Spinal Tap.
Smurfs.
The bass and guitar are playing in a round at the end. So yeah, it's a song very much divided into a before and after. With such violence and such joy after the violence.
They're just so kooky.
Yeah. Okay, that's about all I have to say. Even though there's a lot more to say about this particular song.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's two more of us to go, I guess.
All right, Michelle, you're up.
The first sentence I wrote was "old school, baby," and then I wrote two big googly eyes. googly eyes. You know what I'm saying. The song is the fartiest, sneering song on the album. And how does Rob play these fast, repeating riffs
Fuck.
and not tire out? How does he do it? And he's singing. Short Pants by Priority Mail. Hilarious. Short Pants. Hilarious by Priority Mail. Okay, and I'm going to say it right now. The shove your pinky up your ass and call it stinky. That's where it kind of jumped the shark for me a little bit there. It was just like, oh, come on. You can't think of a better rhyme here.
Or did it jump the shark?
Oh, boo. Boo.
I just think they're the most awfulest lyrics they ever wrote. I think we should have a poll because it's just wah, wah, wah. No. And Rob has gone off his rocker with his delivery of the lyrics. It's so entertaining to listen to. And just how does he get in the mindset to deliver this kind of stuff? Like, what does he have to do? Is he like a jock in the, the room there before the game? I don't know. I don't know sports for shit. I like hockey. Anyways, any remaining vocal nodules the doctor wasn't able to remove fell off in the vocal booth. I'm convinced. The ending of the song, the coda, I don't know. It just left me a little limp there. I don't know. Maybe that, I don't know. Just a little interlude. The majority of this tune is insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain.
Nice. All right.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys have mostly fucking covered it. So, this is not one of the subtle poetic Rob songs. This is sort of a storytelling song, and he's just putting it all fucking out there. I really like the way this song feels like a tightening noose, even on me as a listener, how it's like starts off with the wife and then the son and then the daughter and then it's fucking you, right? It's just this slow concentric circle in through all of these great upper middle class, the Volvo and the credit cards in the trunk and all that kind of shit. And, even the way it circles in on us, it's about politics, it's about this, it's about money.
No, it's just
really,
because.
No, it's just because of fucking you. And I think, Matthew, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think it's a self-loathing song. I think it's a indictment of one's own sort of bourgeoisie feelings or leanings and how one wants to rail against it as a punk and yet still wants to play golf and hang out with one's kids, right?
All the little bourgeois dreams.
It's a little bit exact. We'll get to that one. Fucking don't get me started. So but I really like the violence and the menace with which Rod gives in at every circle. But one of my favorite moments of the song is when between the second verse and the third, where you think it's going to go into that really hardcore part, but instead it just goes into the little snare, and you hear the little girl's voice,
that's
the little boy's voice. Oh,
is it?
Aiden's,
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
cool.
so fucking sweet and dark.
Funny.
It's fucking hilarious and horrible, and I just fucking love it. And I think the Rob's screaming at the end of that last verse is some of the best, at least on this album, in terms of his just pure fucking menace and fucking pissed offness, which makes sense that you'd reserve that sort of anger for yourself and the parts of yourself that you hate. And I don't know how he does it. That rolling bass line, Michelle, you talked about that.
Holy shit.
Fucking crazy. And seeing this live, like he definitely played this live, and I just could not fucking believe seeing him play this and how well he played this.
Sing it at the same
Insane.
time. It's a one-man show.
And I really love actually the little happy bridge on the end of this. This is this album's happy bridge, right? It's not as good as Happy Bridge, but it's a nice palate cleanser because this song's really grim. It's really fucking grim and
really funny.
And very funny. I have to, this is a stupid talk about being bourgeois. This song got harder for me to listen to when I had kids. It really did. Like, I was like, oh shit, it's kind of harder to put myself in the role of, it's funny. This guy's son and daughter get their heads blown up. Actually, no, I'm not laughing as much anymore as I used to, even though I just couldn't separate myself from it. But, I think it's I think it's smack dab in the middle of the album. And of course it's the eponymous track of it. I think the title is fucking great. So yeah, this is a banger. It's a fucking banger.
What about the stinky pinky? What about that?
I mean, whatever. It's there. I don't hate it as much as you maybe, but it's not my favorite
it's
Rob
awful.
lyric. I do love the way he says it. Cut it up there, stick it up your ass. I mean, he's so growly with it. He's just, it's sung with such menace.
Stick
and
some
it's
up your ass and call it stinky. Like,
you
what
don't,
does
but
that even
that's
mean?
the thing. Like, he sings it with such menace, and it's the stupidest line. That's what I like about it.
He hates them so much he doesn't care that he sounds stupid.
Exactly, but how dark the delivery is versus how stupid the line is. But yeah, no, I agree. It's probably the stupidest lyric of all time.
It is.
You know,
it's
I gotta
the
wonder,
stupidest lyric of all time.
Because I went to the university that Rob used to work at, in the cafeteria, and
he used to wash dishes.
Yeah, so I kind of wonder if he ever dealt with the public and developed some of his attitudes there. I could totally see it.
Food service, that'll do it to you. I bet.
Could be. A lot of bourgeoisie floating by with their carts.
Oh.
Did he stick his pinky up his ass and then put it in the macaroni or something? Like
Could
that?
be.
Maybe stinky macaroni?
I ate at that cafeteria, but not when he was working there. I hope.
That's a very.
There should be a plaque in that cafeteria. The Rob Wright cafeteria.
It's a very Mr. Bungle moment for
yes, squeeze me macaroni.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we're done with that one, and now fucking shit.
Oh boy,
we are going to talk. Matthew gets the honor of talking first about Brother Rat, what Slayde says. But before we hear Brother Matthew's thoughts on this song, we're going
Cornel West.
Yeah, we're going to let you. I feel like Cornel West talking about this song.
Oh man, Cornel West
we're going to listen to a little bit of this song. So here you go.
And it's really nice. He's always whispering his poisonous advice. He is secretive, ruthless, and cold. He mentions just enough and leaves the rest untold. He said, don't ever risk an open attack. Just smile into their faces and then stab them in the back. But Slayde, I said, what about the weak, the helpless, and the small? He just sneered and said, fuck 'em all. Fuck 'em all. He said, I am a murderer, although I kill no one. You talk in puzzles, Slayde, I said. What have you really done? I've cut the twining cord. I've shot the turtle dove. I've shut out that precious light that shines from above. Slayde, you are a poet, I said. But what are you truly speaking of? He smiled and whispered, I murdered love. He smiled and whispered, I murdered love.
All right, Matthew, hit me hard.
Okay, it's interesting because these on Live and Cuddly, this is two different tracks, and on the CD, it's a single track, and they're certainly inseparable. They always blend into each other. So I wouldn't have it any other way, but it's kind of we're trading them tonight as a single track with a slash.
Yes.
Yeah, Brother
Got
Rat
to.
/ what Slayde says. Last on the EP, which is kind of an interesting placement for it because I didn't listen to the EP. I listened to the CD and the tape.
Same.
Yeah, a lot of thoughts. This is probably one of my favorites. Sort of one of my perennial ones that I come back to. A lot of interesting choices and thinking about it in a different way. Listening again, the active listening. How many different things different questions to bring up. I mean, and choices that they make in terms of the instrumentation. It's interesting. It's Andy and Rob. Why not John? Being that it's brothers. That's interesting.
Interesting.
In Brother Rat, it's just the kind of like I Need You. It's just like the bass drum over and over again, with bass drum and fills and just sort of hits and accents. And then when it gets into Slayde, it's just the hats and the snare. So you sort of think of the three, the bass drum, the snare, and the hi-hat tend to be the generally the three parts of a drum beat. But he sort of takes parts out. Some of my favorite hi-hat in perhaps any song. And then the drums just get so straight ahead when they unleash I guess it's a bridge. Yeah. Some lyrical things, which, I didn't actually dig up my CD to look at the lyric sheet, but I looked at, lyrics on Genius or whatever. I always heard it as really nice and not rarely nice. And
Oh, that's a big fucking difference.
It is. And it's sort of, I'm not sure which one I want to think of as correct. I think I probably, rarely. That's kind of cool. But also really nice is, different kind of meaning. It's one's an observation and one's a judgment, and one's like a fondness, expresses fondness. The other one is, and I refuse to think that it's I murdered love. I murder love. I don't know. It's said in Genius that it's I murdered, as if it's a past tense thing. I murder is a tendency and something that's still going on. And I would much prefer to think of it in that way, because this is a song about duality. It's a song about, something you can't escape, even though, he talks about having killed the turtle dove. He's cut the twining cord. He's, removed the possibility of love, removed one half of it. And yet there's this duality. I've did some thinking about, Mr. Right, Mr. Wrong, and then Mr. Happy, but also Mr. In Between. And they say, look in the mirror and he steps in between. He's neither. Slayde is something else. Slayde isn't necessarily the dark. He's not necessarily the dark. He's not, and the narrator isn't necessarily the light. But there's some in between thing. I see him crouch before some terrible machine is perhaps one of my favorite images in any song ever. Mm-hmm. This song totally conjures up again, sort of with the mental images that it's somewhere dark that's highlighted by little sort of bits of light, hard to distinguish. The odd little guitar bits are almost like sound effects at the end, like little creatures in the dark. But the overall image for me is like some kind of dark cave or factory, or and you're sort of wandering around a bit lost in it. Let's see what else I got here. Oh, right. Yeah. Jordan, you showed us an illustration you made inspired by the song, and it reminded me, oddly enough, there was a figure in your illustration that reminded me of one of the early editions of The Hobbit, and it was an image of Gollum. And Gollum is kind of very much, riddles in the dark, Slayde-like figure. So yeah, it definitely conjured up an image that I already had. So you and I are thinking the same thing about this song for sure. Let's see, the Live and Cuddly version, they talk about this song about mistrust and brotherhood. Of course, the brother rat, you get along famously until the, inevitable betrayal. I also like the World Cup joke in the Live and Cuddly version.
The World
Cup
joke.
Yeah. Oh, we're talking about the World Cup or some fucking stupid idiot shit. In the brother rat
is that what
part.
they're? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right.
Let's refer to If I Should Die Before I Wake. You know that I've made my escape. That's the only way out. The only way away from Slayde is death. And it was interesting to think about the other reference of in the other song, which I've lost my notes now. Okay, yeah. If I'm dead when I awake, it's a big mistake. It's a kind of a different take on the nursery rhyme
Right.
from
Yeah.
Mansion in the Sky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, and then right at the end, where it sort of peters out, there's some weird little piano bits, and it gets more and more echoey, more and more off into the distance. I'll never listen. And then he starts saying, "What? What?" So he is listening. He's listening to Slayde. He just can't quite hear him, and thank fuck
But-
he can't.
Right.
Do you catch what he says at the very end of that?
I
He
don't
says,
know.
"What? What?"
I was-
He goes, "What? What? Oh, you too?" He's talking to us. He's saying,
Oh.
"Oh, you hear Slayde too?" Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because
I'm sure I that's what I think anyway. I'd love if Andy's listening to this. I'd love to know if that's what it is. But I've always heard that as what? Oh, you too?
I listened to that so many times, and I wrote down. I didn't think that this was actually what it said, but I said "true blue," so I heard the "ooh ooh" part.
I think
and
it's
I don't
you
know
too.
what it
think
actually
blues
is.
in there. I think
I
blues
think
in
it's,
there.
No, I think it's you too because I think he's trying to say like, "Oh, you hear Slayde too? Oh, you too?"
Yeah, if
I'm
Andy's
sure-
listening, maybe I don't want to know the answer.
Maybe I don't want to know the answer to that because in my personal mythology, that is deeply embedded. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. 'cause I got
This
too
is
much
one
to
of the
say, so-
songs that when people are unfamiliar with No Means No, that I will recommend as maybe the first song to hear. Yeah. So, because I think it sort of encapsulates so much about what they think about, talk about, bring out in their songs. Anyway, I got to shut up now because I could talk about the song for ages.
I know,
As
right?
can you.
We should just have an episode just for this song. Seriously.
I could absolutely have 3
I know
hours on
you
my
could.
own. So I'm going to shut up. All right, Michelle, go ahead.
All right. Okay.
You're up.
Okay. I think on this podcast we talk about life and what's right. I have actually mentioned part of this song. I think I was officiating a wedding, and I might have said those lines about what life and what is right or something like that. I think I did. I think I said it in a goddamn wedding.
Wow.
So many of my friends that I tried to get into No Means No were so intrigued with the song, as well as I. I mean, it just grabs you because of what's not there. It's a stripped down instrumentation with just a drum line, and yeah, if just to be stupid, I wrote if you're gonna try to learn how to play drums like John, this might be a good one. Good one to start to. Come on, hey.
Hell yeah.
Play something simple, but with some toot. Play it with passion. Yes. Yeah. Hey.
He's just tapping on his mic.
Well, you got to keep it steady. And start with this one if you want to learn how to play like John, right? Oh, come on. Matthew, you didn't mention knock back a few. Hilarious. I love the knock back a few.
A few.
Yeah, one says it kind of normally, and then Rob, I think he puts. Was it Rob that said the a few? He just puts the accent on the A of the knock back a few, the pat on the back, and the knife in the back. Oh, God, it just grabs you by your nuts. It's incredibly cool. And whoever wrote that, a knife in the back, a pat on the back, and the knife in the back, that's award-winning lyric writing right there.
I love when you
this
say knife, actually. It's where your accent, New York accent sounds Canadian.
Knife.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Knife in the back. I also say John, right?
Less
John,
Canadian.
John and Rob. Well, hopefully that'll go away soon. I don't know. Anyways, the song for just the drums and the wonderful lyrics, it just draws you in for what's not there, but what is. It's an amazing piece. Talking about Slayde, I think that's going to be the next name of my next cat. I love this name. I'm very intrigued by it. And I'm drawn into a slower type song, even though I don't usually like those, about the overall vibe that they're trying to put here. And the more I listened to it, the more I fell in love with it. I didn't know the lyric, I murdered love. And I do think it's murdered, but I don't know shit for lyrics. So maybe it is I murdered love, or I murder love. Once I found out that that's what they were saying at the end, I remember exactly where I was when I asked, what are they saying there? And I was told what it was. I love the creepy ending, and have never ever skipped these tunes when they come on. And like you mentioned before, the ending where they're, I always thought Andy, I guess, was saying blue who. I don't know. No, not boo hoo. Blue who.
Could be.
You know, it's me and my misheard lyrics, but that's
Who the fuck
blue
knows?
who.
I love that we all heard it
Blue
differently.
who
That's
down in
fucking great.
Whoville.
That's fucking
Yeah.
great.
Maybe we'll find out what he did say.
Yeah.
Or maybe you don't want to know. I do.
I kind of want to know. It's always going to be you two to me. Like no matter what, that's just how I'm going to hear it. So.
Blue who?
True blue.
All right,
We should make a bet.
Am I up?
Yes.
All right. So I'll start off with a few little anecdotes, and then I'm going to burn these notes because I have a bunch of notes and I don't want to speak to them. I want to speak from the heart for this song. So a couple things. First of all, you talk about introducing people to this. This was the first, on one of our first dates, me and my wife, this is one of the first songs I played for her. I was like, this used to be a song. This used to be a song for me.
Still married you now.
That is setting a tone.
Yeah. This is a song I used to use in college as a litmus test. I'd be like, okay,
Yeah.
if we're going to know each other, I
Right.
want to know what the fuck you think about this
Yeah.
song.
Right.
And we'd get,
Jordan's
and I,
shibboleth.
oh yeah. And I had this, I was a theater major and I had this directing class and I did a theater piece based on this song. I took everyone
Holy
down.
shit.
I took everyone down into the basement and I had
How
two
cool
guys.
are you?
I had two guys and I sat everyone in this really small claustrophobic room in a circle, kind of chaotically on these little squares. And I gave all the audience flashlights and I had the two people being Slayde and the narrator saying
Oh
the
my
lyrics and everybody
God.
just got to kind of shine lights on whoever they wanted to illuminate the piece. And it was all just done in the dark, kind of very quiet. It was
Holy
really fucking good. It
shit.
was really nuts. It was fucking dark and weird.
Oh, man.
And I remember the directing teacher like looking at the words and going like, yeah, I've had a Slayde in my life. I'm past that point, but I've had a Slayde. Just being like, yeah,
Right.
you think you have, but so
Wow, that's cool.
the only one thing I want to read
cool.
from my notes is I want to start off my discussion of this song, and please forgive me, everyone, because I don't know where this is going to go, frankly, because I'm going to burn my notes, but I'm going to get pretty maudlin because I love this song too much. But I'm going to start this off very paradoxically. I'm going to use a Bible verse, which for a No Means No song, right? Like, what the fuck? So the verse is, this is actually one of the verses from the Bible I think is really fucking on point. If you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. And that to me is much of No Means No. And this
Right.
song in fucking particular. So there's something that this song is the pinnacle of to me for No Means No. And it hit me, you know, I encountered these guys back in my 20s and I had a lot of fucking questions. I was going through a lot of shit, as we all were, I'm sure. But what these guys embody, and in this song in particular, is a really important principle. And this is important like in Jungian psychology, all sorts of other psychological fields, but also in like authentic mystical traditions. There's a really important concept that you have to face one's shadow really honestly, that you have to really contend and sincerely face the dark parts of oneself and integrate them, not push them away, not cut them out, not, you know, block them over like a cask of Amontillado. You have to really face them and integrate them. You have to treat them like a brother. They have to be a part of you. And I think this song is the absolute best embodiment of that principle of anything I've ever encountered, probably in any art form. I think this song rises to the level of a incredible work of art on all its fronts. I've ranted many times about how lyrics and music and delivery and performance go together so well. This is the fucking song for me. And, you know, we've said this on other songs too, but this song often sits at my number one spot. And there are others that sort of vie for contention up at the top, but this one's always there. I think there are others that get parallel to it, but they never unseat it. Like if there's anything else, there's others that join the throne. And so they share it, with maybe one exception, which we'll get to eventually. But I could absolutely be happy pushing this all the way to the final fucking thing and putting the golden crown on this fucking song. Because I think it embodies, as you pointed out, Matthew, and Michelle too, this embodies so much of what is truly beautiful and unique about No Means No, and the authentic way in which, yeah, right. Matthew, you're right. This is not just, oh, I'm the light and I'm the dark. This is just somebody contending with something. It is a darkness, but it's something necessary. Like Slayde needs to be there. It's a part. One thing we didn't talk about when this came up before, kind of, and I didn't know this till we were looking at researching this, but I think the character of Slayde's been around with them for a while, because one of the sides in the Canadian version of Sex Mad was the Slayde side. There was like,
that's right,
Bob side and Slayde side, right? So Slayde, the idea of Slayde is clearly something that's been bouncing around in their heads for a really long time.
And I've heard that the character off the cover of Mr. Happy, the sort of dude with extra digits and a broom for a hand, is Slayde, but I'm not sure about that.
It doesn't surprise me. So the way that you've got the pattern of the three verses that build, and the way the music builds, and the way that you've got these gorgeous little moments where he smiled and whispered, I murder, or I murdered love, but they're screaming it, right? He says he smiled and whispered, but they're yelling it with this passion. So you've got this paradox in it that shows that it's this internal voice, right? Like there's this, he's sneering at you, but it's just, anyway, it's just, fuck. It's so hard for me to talk about this song, because I don't think, other than one other song, I've ever sat and listened and digested word by word and moment by moment and note by note any other song of any other artist by any other band as much as I have this particular song. I fucking adore this piece of music, and I love the live and cuddly version, because I love that how they take that end section.
Oh, that crazy jam.
I've always wondered, and this is actually maybe something, if Andy's listening, maybe this would be something he'd answer for us.
He's having a very good time.
I know. Did they, I always wondered if during the Andy era, they actually jammed in the way that, like, they just jammed and didn't quite know how it was going to come out, or whether that was shit that they'd kind of worked on before and knew what they were going to do in those bits. Because every time I saw them, at least with Tom, there was very little of that. Like, they would practice the shit and it was very tight, but they didn't go off script very much. But this felt loose and meaty, as a way much of the songs on the Live and Cuddly do. But I love that end part. But I don't love it more than the studio. They're different. I love the way the studio collapses into that, as you guys were talking about, the piano and the voice that goes in the distance, and nothing. Right. I don't care if Andy corrects us and it's not you too. It will always be that to me, because to me that makes the most sense. It's him. Right. It's him talking to me and saying, "Oh, you have that voice too."
Him creating these little critters in the dark.
Oh,
a blue critter, a blue who,
but
a blue who down in Whoville,
and much like I Need You, I think there's that, that I highlighted that last verse, the middle verse where he talks about I cut the twining cord, I shot the turtle dove. That just wrecks me. I think the way it's delivered, the way the music, the way it's been built to, the lyrics, the everything about it is perfect. It is just a perfect piece of art. And overall, this is just a front to back, from the opening fucking kick drums to the very last mumbled lyric, masterpiece with a capital M.
I totally agree.
And yeah, there are a million things I'm going to think about that I should have said that I didn't say, but I'm not gonna say any more, because I think what's come across is that I really fucking love this song. So there you go. All right. So I guess it's time to make this apparently very difficult decision of voting. And Matthew, you get to go first.
Dance used to really almost bug me. Dance at the Headless Bourgeoise. I didn't like listening to it, but I've changed my tune on that. But it's not going to unseat Slayde. Slayde's, it's, the small parts CD, small parts Everything Became Nothing CD is it vies for my favorite album, and this vies for my favorite song on it. So yeah, it's pretty hard. I got to vote for Slayde, Brother Rat Slayde.
Nice. Michelle.
Oh, I'm gonna second that. This is some groundwork, no means no, that will always be a part of me. It's the kind of thing you'll play at your funeral. You know?
Please do.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Right. Well, maybe.
Hell
Get to
yeah.
pick your own song stuff, but hell yes. This conjures up so many memories and so many just open mouth like, the hell is this? In the same vein as the other stuff that I heard that I'd never heard from them, that I'd never heard before, but it's, like you said, masterpiece. Brother Rat and Slayde.
Yeah, well, it's unanimous. Clearly, there's no way my vote would be a mystery. So yeah, it's Brother Rat. Slayde Says all the way to the bank.
Right.
Sweet. Well, we have put another 2 forward and sent another 2 back. We've got I Need You and Slayde Says, or Brother Rat Slayde Says, are going up. And Mansion in the Sky and Dance of the Headless Bourgeoise are unfortunately going to the shit pile unless someone decides to bring them back in some sort of wild card round. But good round.
This is a long episode, but
it's a long episode, but I'm sure you guys
a lot of meat.
A lot of meat there.
Yeah.
I am really, really, really grateful that I Need You and Slayde did not come up against each other. That's what I'd like to say. Like, I'm grateful
Oh
they
my
came
God,
up.
you would have exploded.
Both of them came up against songs that I really like, but I was not.
Right.
This is not a hard one for me.
I think you would have not shown up tonight if that happened. You'd be like,
Yeah, I
this
would have
is
found
just
some
too
excuse,
much.
some excuse.
Yeah,
but
I got
but
the
in any
runs
event,
or something.
In any event,
I
we
can't
have
do
kept
it.
we have kept everyone really long. But guess what? We have another great treat for you. Andy's Correction Corner. Thank you, Andy. This week,
yes.
I have the honor of reading Andy's comments on episode 8. And Andy gave us some great insight into the fall and to putting it in order. When putting it in order ain't enough. Putting it all in order ain't enough. I can never say the fucking name right. So
Third
I already
time's
lose.
a charm. Jesus.
So these are comments on episode 8. This is episode 10 that we're recording.
That's right. That's
Just
right.
for the record.
So here's what Andy has to say to
Pull
all
up a
of
chair,
you.
peeps.
The Fall was written probably 1990-ish. Robbie wrote the main riff, certainly, and I'm thinking the rest too, though the verse riff sounds very John-ish to me. Long discussions, and I do mean long, between Rob and John about the drum beat of the chorus, First We Feel, etc. It had to be just so, apparently. First We Feel, Then We Fall, from the very end of Finnegan's Wake, which you probably already knew. I did not. I don't know about you guys. I had not read that book. I've always meant to, never have. Baby references. I've often wondered if the Talking Heads' Stay Up Late from Little Creatures may have been an influence on this song. Unlike me, Rob liked Little Creatures a lot, so maybe there was some indirect influence in there somewhere. Like now, it seems like what should be a 3-minute song stretched out to 5 minutes. Ha ha ha. Yeah, no, fuck it. I'm so glad it's that long. And then he has to say this on Putting It All in Order. Me trying to cross Black Flag with wire, sorry. About the moment when all your existential constructs in yourself are simply no longer adequate, keeping your emotional well-being in check. Nervous Breakdown meets Lowdown. Bonus revelation, the guitar solo, such as it is, was me attempting a My War Side 2 Greg Ginn style of playing. Nice. Thank you, Andy, for those comments and insights
Juicy bits
into 2 really, really good fucking songs. All
God,
right.
I love that kind of shit. I love
too.
that kind of stuff.
I'm so grateful to get those fucking
My
little juicy
God.
bits.
Absolutely.
It's pretty fucking great. It's pretty fucking great.
Totally.
Well,
Thanks,
everyone.
Andy. And hey, and thanks to you two. This is our 10th episode. You know, that's something. I mean, plus the interview plus episode 0, that's 12 episodes altogether. Thank you, both of you. Thanks, Jordan, for the idea. Thanks for the opportunity, and thanks for working together. This has been a real positive experience for me. I'm really, really sincerely happy that so many people are enjoying it. And again, we're not getting any negative feedback, which is on the internet. That's not a thing. So we must be doing a good job or tapping into something that people really love. So thanks to all of you. Thanks to you too. And thanks for listening.
Absolutely. Thank all of you. And remember, Question the answers, stir the solutions.